Have you ever wondered why some people never have dishes piled up in the sink, while others are always running around trying to make ends meet? The secret lies in the 6 rules of KAIZEN, a Japanese philosophy that can completely transform your relationship with kitchen cleaning. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to apply these simple rules so that you never again have that pile of dishes and pots waiting for you at the end of the day. If you're tired of spending hours washing dishes piled up, feeling overwhelmed every time you walk into the kitchen, or fighting with your family over the mess, this video will change your life. The rules I'm going to share are so powerful that in just 1 week, you'll notice the difference. But there's one important detail. If you don't apply these techniques, you'll continue to waste precious time and energy that you could be using to enjoy special moments with the ones you love. What impresses me the most is that these rules are so simple that anyone can apply them regardless of age or routine. Stay until the end, because the last rule is the most surprising and practically guarantees that you will never again have the stress of seeing the sink full. Tip 1. The 2-minute rule. The first rule of KAIZEN for keeping your sink clean is simple. If something takes less than 2 minutes to wash, do it right away. This is one of the most powerful techniques out there and solves a very common problem that happens in every home. The problem is that most people let small tasks pile up, thinking that they will save time by doing them all at once. But in practice, the opposite happens. A coffee cup that would take 30 seconds to wash turns into 5 minutes when the coffee sticks to the bottom. A dessert plate that would take seconds to finish turns into a struggle when the sugar hardens. I'll give you a practical example of how to apply this. Every time you finish drinking your breakfast, before you even leave the kitchen, wash your cup and plate. Did you use a spoon to stir something? Wash it immediately. Did you cut a piece of fruit? Run the knife under water immediately. It may seem silly, but these small gestures make a huge difference at the end of the day. The benefits of this rule are impressive. First, you'll never feel overwhelmed again when you look at the sink. Second, you save water and detergent because you don't have to soak or scrub vigorously. Third, your kitchen will always look organized, which will give you a sense of peace and control over your space. The magic happens when this becomes an automatic habit. After a few weeks of doing this, you won't even realize you're doing it. You'll wash the little things without even thinking about it, as if it were a natural part of the cooking or eating process. Tip 2. Prepare while cooking. The second rule completely revolutionizes the way you use the kitchen. Always wash your utensils while you're cooking. This technique solves the biggest problem people face after preparing a meal: that mountain of pots, bowls, and utensils waiting to be washed. The problem arises because most people treat cooking and washing up as 2 separate activities. They use everything they need, make the food, eat it, and then deal with the mess. This creates a very unpleasant situation where you are already full and tired, but there is still a huge pile of dishes waiting for you. In practice, it works like this. While the beans are cooking, you wash the pan you used to saute the onion. While you wait for the water to boil for the pasta, you clean the cutting board and the knife you used to chop the seasonings. Finished using the blender? Wash it immediately before the residue sticks to the walls. I'll tell you a secret I learned. Whenever there's a waiting time during cooking, use those minutes to wash something. Are you waiting for the oil to heat up? Perfect. Wash the bowl where you seasoned the meat. Is the rice on the stove? Ideal for cleaning the pan you used to saute. Those few minutes that seem wasted turn into a complete cleaning. The benefits are fantastic. When you finish eating, all you have to do is wash the dishes from the meal. The feeling of relief is indescribable. Plus, your kitchen always looks presentable, even while you're preparing food. You also save a lot of time because nothing sticks or hardens, making cleanup easier. Tip 3. The 1 pot at a time system. The third rule of KAIZEN will change the way you organize your kitchen work. Finish one pan completely before dirtying another. This simple technique solves one of the biggest causes of mess and stress when cooking. The problem is that many people start using multiple pots and pans at the same time, creating chaos in the sink and on the countertop. A pot here, another there, bowls scattered around, utensils everywhere. Before they know it, the kitchen has become a battlefield, and the motivation to clean everything simply disappears. The solution is revolutionary in its simplicity. Use a pan, finish what you need to do with it, wash it, and put it away before moving on to the next one. If you're going to make a stew and then a soup, make the stew, remove it from the pan, wash the pan, and only then start the soup. It may seem like it will take longer, but it actually saves time and mental energy. I'll give you a practical example. You're going to make a complete lunch: rice, beans, meat, and salad. Start with the beans, which take the longest. While they're cooking, prepare all the ingredients for the rice, but use the same pan only after you've transferred the beans and washed the pan. For the meat, the same thing. Clean pan, new process. The benefits of this rule are impressive. Your countertops stay organized because you don't have a pile of dirty utensils. Your sink never gets clogged with large pots and pans taking up space. You can focus more on each step of the recipe because there are no visual distractions. And most importantly, when you're done cooking, there's practically nothing left to wash. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and tell me in the comments where you are watching this video from. I want to know if these tips are making sense to you and which one has caught your attention the most so far. Tip 4. The immediate rinse technique. The fourth rule of KAIZEN is one of the simplest, but also one of the most effective. Always rinse your dishes and utensils immediately after using them, even if you don't wash them right away. This technique prevents the biggest enemy of clean dishes: stuck-on, dried-on food residue. The big problem happens when we let dishes with sauce, egg residue, melted cheese, or any other food that sticks to them dry completely. What would take seconds to remove with warm water turns into minutes of intense scrubbing, using more detergent, more water, and much more physical energy. Not to mention the stress of having to scrub hard. The application is very simple. As soon as you finish eating, before even getting up from the table, run the plate under water. There is no need to scrub or use detergent. Just remove any larger residues and give it a quick rinse. If you use the pan to make sauce, as soon as you serve the food, pour some hot water into it. Let me give you an example that happens in every household. You made scrambled eggs in a frying pan. If you rinse the frying pan while it's still warm, right after serving the eggs, it will be clean with just water. But if you let it cool down and the eggs stick, you'll need to scrub, use detergent, and much more time to get the same result. The benefits of this rule are fantastic. When you actually wash the dishes, everything will come off easily, as if by magic. You will save a lot of detergent because you won't need to use extra soap to remove stuck-on grease. The washing time will be cut in half. And most importantly, you will eliminate that psychological resistance to dealing with dirty dishes and pans with stuck-on food. Tip 5. The empty bench method. The fifth rule of KAIZEN is one of the most transformative. Always keep your kitchen counter completely clean and empty when you're not cooking. This technique solves a very serious psychological problem that affects our motivation to keep the kitchen tidy. The problem is that when we have a counter full of objects, dirty pots and pans or utensils scattered around, our brain interprets this as accumulated work. Even if they are small things, the visual sensation of clutter discourages us and makes it seem like we have much more work ahead of us than we actually do. To apply this rule, you need to get into the habit of always leaving your countertop clean after any activity in the kitchen. Finished making a snack? Put away everything you used and wipe the countertop. Made dinner? Before you even eat, make sure there's nothing out of place on the countertop. It may seem like overkill at first, but it becomes second nature very quickly. I'm going to tell you about an incredible discovery I made. When your countertop is always clean, you're much more likely to cook and keep your kitchen organized. It's like a positive cycle. A clean countertop motivates you to keep everything else clean too. When it's messy, it seems like it doesn't matter if you leave one more thing out of place. The benefits are impressive. Your kitchen always looks bigger and more airy. You can find everything quickly because everything has its place. Daily cleaning is much faster because you only need to wipe it down with a cloth without having to remove and replace objects. And most importantly, you feel a great sense of peace every time you walk into the kitchen and see everything in its rightful place. Tip 6. The 15-minute timer rule. The sixth and final rule of KAIZEN is the most powerful of all. Dedicate exactly 15 minutes a day to a thorough cleaning of the kitchen, always at the same time. This technique solves the problem of procrastination and ensures that there will never be a backlog of tasks again. The big problem is that most people don't have a set routine for cleaning the kitchen. They put it off until they feel like it, when they have time, or when the situation is already unsustainable. This creates a vicious cycle where the task seems increasingly bigger and more daunting. The solution is to set a fixed time every day, program a timer for exactly 15 minutes, and use that time to do a thorough cleaning. It could be in the morning after breakfast, late in the afternoon, or before bed. The important thing is that it is always at the same time to create the habit. During those 15 minutes, you do everything. Wash any dishes that may be left over, wipe down the counters, clean the stove, organize your utensils, and clean the sink. It sounds like a lot of work, but when you follow the other 5 rules, those 15 minutes are more than enough to get everything perfect. The interesting thing is that you will often finish before the 15 minutes are up. When this happens, use the remaining time to organize a closet or drawer, but never go over 15 minutes. This time, constraint creates urgency and forces you to be efficient. The benefits of this rule are life-changing. You'll never have to deal with a messy kitchen again. Cleaning will no longer be a chore and will become a natural part of your routine. You'll develop speed and efficiency because you have limited time. And most importantly, your kitchen will be spotless whenever anyone comes home. Before I move on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transform my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's continue with the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 7. The category washing system. The 7th rule of KAIZEN will revolutionize your efficiency when washing dishes. Always wash in categories, from cleanest to dirtiest. This technique solves a very common problem that makes people waste time and water and detergent without realizing it. The mistake that almost everyone makes is washing the dishes in the order they appear in the sink, without thinking about the logic of cleaning. They start by washing a pan full of grease, then try to wash a glass that was clean, but ends up getting grease from the dirty sponge. The result? They have to wash the glass again and waste a lot more time. The correct order is always the same. First the glasses and cups, then the plates, then the silverware, then the small pots and pans, and finally the large pots and pans. This sequence ensures that you always use the cleanest water and the least contaminated sponge on the items that need to be most spotless. Let me give you a practical example. You have 2 glasses, 3 plates, silverware, and a frying pan with food residue in the sink. Start by washing the 2 glasses with clean water and a new sponge. Then wash the plates, then the silverware. Lastly, wash the frying pan that is dirtiest. If you do it in this order, you will use less detergent and everything will be cleaner. The secret is to understand that each category of object has a different level of dirt and requires specific care. Glasses need to be clear and free of marks. Plates need to be free of residue. Pans may require more scrubbing. When you respect this hierarchy, the result is much better. The benefits are impressive. You save on detergent because you don't contaminate the sponge right away. The water stays clean for longer. everything is really clean after the first pass, the total washing time is significantly reduced, and you develop a work rhythm that makes the task almost automatic. Tip 8. The strategic hot water technique. The 8th rule of KAIZEN is a secret that few people know. Use hot water strategically, only where it really makes a difference. This technique solves the problem of wasting energy and time and makes cleaning much more effective. Many people either use cold water for everything, which makes it harder to remove grease, or use hot water indiscriminately, wasting unnecessary energy. The trick is to know exactly when hot water is essential and when it is unnecessary. The rule is simple. Use hot water only for items with grease, stuck-on sauces, or foods that leave oily residue. For empty glasses, cups, and cutlery that have only touched dried food, cold or lukewarm water is more than enough. Pans with leftover frying, dishes with tomato sauce, and frying pans that have been used for meat, these do need hot water. I'll give you some practical examples. A glass that has only had water or natural juice in it can be washed with cold water. A plate that has had food with olive oil in it needs hot water to dissolve the fat. A spoon that has stirred coffee with milk needs warm water. A pan in which you made bolognese sauce needs very hot water to remove all the fat from the sauce. The trick is to always start with warm water for less dirty items and increase the temperature as needed. This saves energy and also protects your hands from sudden changes in temperature. In addition, some foods come out better in warm water than in very hot water, which can cause proteins to stick even more. The benefits of this technique are fantastic. You save on your electricity or gas bill. Your hands don't suffer from unnecessarily hot water. Cleaning becomes more efficient because you use the ideal temperature for each type of dirt, and you develop a greater awareness of what you really need from each resource. Now, I want to ask you an important question. Which of these 8 rules do you think will make the biggest difference in your routine? Tell me in the comments which one caught your attention the most and why. This will help me better understand what you need most and create even more useful content. Tip 9. The Advanced Preparation Method. The 9th rule of KAIZEN will transform your relationship with the kitchen. Always prepare and organize everything you need before you start cooking. This technique solves one of the biggest causes of mess and stress in the kitchen: disorganization during meal preparation. The problem happens when we start cooking without planning. We grab ingredients as we need them, use utensils randomly, and leave open packages scattered around the counter. Before we know it, the kitchen has become chaos and we still have to finish preparing the meal in the middle of the mess. The solution is revolutionary. Before lighting the fire or turning on any appliance, separate all the ingredients, utensils, and containers that you are going to use. Leave everything organized on the counter, in the order that you will need it. Open only the necessary packages and keep everything within reach. I'll give you a practical example. You're going to make pasta with tomato sauce. Before you start, separate the pasta, sauce, grated cheese, onion, garlic, and olive oil. Get a large pan for the pasta, a medium pan for the sauce, a wooden spoon, a knife, and a cutting board. Get everything organized and only then start preparing. This initial preparation may seem like it will take you longer, but it actually saves you a lot of time. You don't have to stop in the middle of cooking to look for ingredients. You don't run the risk of forgetting an important seasoning. You don't have to let anything burn because you had to go get something you forgot. The secret is to treat this preparation as an essential part of the cooking process, not as an extra step. Great chefs always do this. They know that prior organization is what guarantees a perfect result and a kitchen that doesn't turn into a battlefield. The benefits are impressive. You cook with much more peace of mind and pleasure. The results of your recipes improve because you can focus on the cooking itself. Cleaning up afterwards is much easier because you don't have to spread things around unnecessarily, and you develop the confidence to prepare more elaborate dishes. Tip 10. The Immediate Post-Meal Cleanup Rule. The 10th and final rule of KAIZEN is the one that completes the perfect cycle of an always organized kitchen. Clear the table and wash the dishes immediately after eating without exception. This technique completely eliminates the possibility of accumulation and ensures that you always have a spotless kitchen. The biggest mistake people make is leaving the dishes to be washed later, thinking that they will relax a little before facing the dishes. But what happens is that after eating, we feel slower, less energetic, and those dishes that would be easy to wash become an unpleasant task. The rule is inflexible. When you've finished eating, get up from the table and go straight to the sink. Don't sit on the couch, don't watch TV, don't do anything else until all the plates, glasses, and cutlery are washed, dried, and put away. It may seem too strict, but it's exactly this discipline that creates the habit. Let me explain the psychology behind this. When you eat, your body is still in active mode, with energy to perform tasks. If you sit down and relax, your body goes into rest mode, and it becomes much harder to motivate yourself to do activities that require movement. That's why it's crucial to take advantage of this post-meal energy window. To make it easier, turn this into a pleasurable ritual. Put on some music you like. Think about the benefits you are creating for yourself, and feel the pleasure of seeing everything clean and organized. In a few days, this will become automatic, and you will no longer question whether or not you should wash it right away. The benefits of this rule are the most transformative of all. You will never again feel overwhelmed when you look at a full sink. Your kitchen will always be ready for the next meal. You save time by not letting anything stick. And most importantly, you develop a sense of responsibility and care for your own space that extends to other areas of your life. We've reached the end of this video, and I want you to understand something very important. These 10 rules of KAIZEN are not just about keeping the dishes clean. They represent a philosophy of life based on small, consistent actions that generate big changes. When you apply these principles in the kitchen, you are developing discipline, organization, and self-care. The most amazing thing is that these rules work for anyone, regardless of age, routine, or family size. They have been tested by thousands of people and always bring impressive results. But remember, knowledge without application is worthless. You need to start today. Choose 1 or 2 rules and practice them until they become a habit. My challenge to you is this. Choose the 3 rules that caught your attention the most and apply them for a full week. Then come back here and tell me in the comments what the results were. I'm sure you'll be surprised by the transformation. If this video was useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new tips. Also share it with someone who needs this information. Sometimes a simple change in habit can completely transform a person's quality of life. Thank you for watching this far. And remember, an organized kitchen is the first step towards a more peaceful and enjoyable life. See you in the next video.